All right, people, we have the Doomsday trailer. It has taken long enough, hasn't it? I do believe it has. So, as always, I'm gonna react to. Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie. I've already watched the trailer like 10 times, something like that. But we're gonna go over it right here. I'm gonna kind of give my opinions on things. Maybe like a semi trailer piece by piece, like talking about what's going on. We're gonna go through it entirely the first time around. I'm gonna try not to. Well, actually, I'm not gonna say that. I'm going to pause because I know the YouTube Disney police are gonna be flagging this because I've seen them do it already, and I'm gonna see if pausing it as much as possible maybe will help. I'll even have my avatar on here just to try to kind of keep the copyright thing from popping up. I mean, I'm not monetized yet, so I guess why do I give a crap right now? Because it's not gonna affect me really one way or the other. But when I do get monetized, I want to be able to, maybe if this gets enough views. But yeah, so we're just gonna go ahead and go through this trailer and enjoy it.
Something's coming. Something we may not be able to deter. Before this day is done, we shall be faced with an unthinkable decision.
So just right off the bat, that's Doctor Doom, and that is, if you didn't know that, that's Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom accent. When I first saw it today, it worked. I was like, is that? I think my first instinct was like, is that Doom? And then I was like, is it Nightcrawler? And it like, is it, no, not Nightcrawler. Like now you hear Thor, and I'm like, it's not Thor. It's not because the voices. When I watched it the first time, it seemed like the voices like kind of came together. But obviously, after watching it a couple times, it's obviously two different people, and it's obviously Doom. But yeah, I had heard that RDJ was gonna have an accent for Doom, and it sounds great because he doesn't even sound like himself. He sounds like a completely different person, which obviously is the point. So yeah.
I've fought with many warriors in my time. You're far stronger than all of us put together.
Okay. Yeah, right here. So what was this? We have the Avengers and the fake Avengers face to face. And in case you don't know what I mean, oh, and the Fantastic Four. And in case you don't know what I mean, if you're new here, the Avengers are Sam Wilson's team, and the fake Avengers are the Thunderbolts. Yeah, yeah, those guys on the left over there, that's the fake Avenger. I have my same Avenger. Those are the fake Avengers. Yeah. Just in case you didn't know. Let's make sure we get that straight right now. I went on a whole soapbox about that back when Thunderbolts came out. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy Thunderbolts, but I'm on record as saying I do not like them having the Thunderbolts named the Avengers. It's just not what's up. I'm sorry, it's not, and I don't agree with that decision. But anyway, so we have Sam and Ant-Man. I don't know where the rest of Sam's team is. And then you have the Thunderbolts over there, and then you have the Fantastic Four in the middle. So we saw from the Thunderbolts post-credit scene that the Fantastic Four was showing up. What we see in this trailer, which I'm gonna scooch back a little bit more here, right here, Thor is in that ship with the Fantastic Four. So the question is, at what point does Thor come into contact with the Fantastic Four? Very, very interesting here, and there's some theories about what's going on in the movie, and I'll go over those as we get through after we get through the whole trailer, I guess. But yeah,
All of us put together, and they died.
Namor.
They died facing enemies and
Okay,
threats.
I gotta say this. I'm pausing a lot already, but let me say this again. My stance is that Bucky over there. I think that's Bucky and Ghost over there. Anyway, my stance on Wakanda and everything, I made that pretty known too. So what we have right here is, it looks like the Wakandans who have visited Namor and the Atlanteans, which, by the way, oh, there goes Ben and Sue over there. But yeah, the Atlanteans, which, what are they called? in the MCU, the whatever Talakan. I don't know what they're the Atlanteans, all right. But again, no offense to the culture, but in the comics, they're the Atlanteans. Anyway, I made it no secret that I don't agree with how Marvel has handled the Black Panther mythos. And right here, it looks like they're at odds. Now, this could be just like a quick misunderstanding, and they're gonna everything's gonna be all right. But I'm gonna say this: in the comics, there's a and during this storyline, because this is basically Secret Wars. There's a sequence that happens where T'Challa had a showdown with Namor. I'll say that. If they give Shuri that sequence in these movies, I'm gonna be livid. I'm gonna be livid because that was one of the coldest T'Challa moments, one of many, but one of the coldest T'Challa moments ever. And Namor survived it, but again, if you, I'll talk about it if it's prevalent, later on in the movies, like if it happens in this movie or in Secret Wars, I'll talk about it then because I'm gonna fuss about it if it happens. But just know if they give Shuri T'Challa's moment, I'm gonna have a problem with them. Because I already have a problem with them because of how they're handling this whole thing. But again, that's not important to this video. But yeah, they're at odds. Namor is a douche, man. I've been rewatching Supernatural, so I'm saying douchebag, like Dean and Sam. But yeah, Namor's an ass. Namor has always been an ass. Whether you talk about the movies or you talk about the comics or you talk about the cartoons, Namor has been an ass for as long as I can remember. I've never been a fan of Namor. And it looks like he's continuing his pattern of being an ass.
It scared me far less than this one.
Scott! I don't think
everything that they sacrificed me for nothing if we do not stand together.
Alright, what we got here? So like I said, so there's Ben and Sue, that is Bucky, and that's I can't think of his name right now. That's New Falcon, of course. Joaquin. And then there's Ghost over here, which you can barely see over there, but that's Ghost, and they're I guess forming an alliance with the Wakandans. And I didn't notice it the first few times I saw the trailer, but there's water back there. So I guess this is maybe, it has to be before they went to talk to the Atlanteans, I guess. Because it looks like they're just meeting because they're shaking hands or coming to an agreement. I don't know. I'm just speculating.
Put aside.
Okay, so right here we have Yelena. You see Reed. You see Sam Wilson back there, and one other person. I think is Ant-Man and Shang-Chi. This I'm pretty sure is the X-Mansion. Because you just saw Shang-Chi fighting Gambit. They're in the X-Men. So we see already that the teams are sectioned off. I think I had heard about that in leaks. But yeah, the teams are sectioned off, and it looks like actually the funny thing is the leaders of each respective team, that being Sam, Yelena, and Reed, are over here. They're over here in which I'm assuming is they cross universes to come to the X-Men universe. I'll comment more on that later. I don't want to keep, extending this trailer time. Let's get through the trailer. I'll try to get through the trailer without pausing too many more times, and we'll talk about it.
Petty squabbles.
Nice.
Presume nothing except this. If you return.
Cassie and Scott.
You will return as brothers and sisters.
Cap. Scott,
but mark my words. We're going to need a miracle.
Hey, pal.
It's not possible.
Mr. Rogers, Steve, welcome back. So what do I? Okay, so now that we've actually, I let you all see the rest of the like minute of the trailer. If it was even a minute, I did pause. I told you I was gonna pause a lot. Okay, I'm trying to kind of not give them as much ammo to be like, hey, copyright. They're probably gonna do it anyway. But anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna say, let me start off with, since I'm talking about it again. Let me go back to. Okay, here. Um, so if you see right here, not there. Okay, whatever. You see, I'm trying to get the shot of them standing right here, and I think this is the Fantastic Four ship. Um, so I don't want to say spoiler alert because it's not a spoiler; it's a theory. But there's a running theory that Steve somehow ends up in the Fantastic Four's universe, and that not only does he end up in their universe, but it causes basically an incursion because he's there. And Reed and Doom are kind of the ones who figure it out. And then they're having to, deal with the incursions, and so they had to pluck Steve or bring Steve with them to, deal with it. But that's one theory. Another part of that theory is that Loki, because I heard someone else say, I think it was Geekdom has said it. I think Geekdom said that maybe Loki takes Steve and puts him somewhere else because of incursion. We don't know, right? I mean, we don't know because the movie's not out yet. Regardless, it looks like Steve is there on the Fantastic Four ship with Thor, which leads me to believe that in that meeting that they all had in the Avengers Tower, I'm assuming Steve may be there somewhere. We don't know for sure. That's just my assumption, but we'll see. And then the other theory, of course, is that that this is a wild theory, and again, this is based in rumors too from before the movie was even started filming, I think. But the other rumor being that if you know the comics, there was a story called Secret Empire, and that was a story with the infamous panel with Steve saying "Hail Hydra," which showed that Captain America had been a Hydra agent the entire time, which is a really long story. Basically, Red Skull got his hands on the Cosmic Cube and rewrote Steve's history to the point that he was a Hydra agent the entire time. It was a cool story, and ultimately, we found out that was that the cube really just it made like an entire new Steve, but the real Steve was like in this distant or in this alternate reality or something with like amnesia or something. It was a whole story, and then Sam and Bucky had to go into that world and free the real Steve, which they could totally do here. I don't know if you want to do it in this film or in these two films. I would say if you're gonna do that, you probably save it for like, maybe a Captain America movie later or after Secret Wars. But again, my point of saying all that is that there is a theory that this is that Hydra Steve, because Hydra Steve was able to wield Mjolnir because he was worthy. As funny as that is, and there's a precedent for it. Comics Explain in his video when he covered it, and he said it again in his reaction to Doomsday today. He was like, it says, "Whosoever who ever wields his hammer, if they be worthy, uh, possesses the power of Thor." But like Rob said, it doesn't say whoever is a good guy or righteous or whatever. It just says if they're worthy. So there's obviously different meanings of being worthy or different interpretations of it. Um, so yeah, I think it's just Steve, to be honest with you. But if it is Hydra Steve, then that's a interesting, surprise. Um, Optic Rage, yeah. I do believe that they're gonna do Cyclops Justice on here because we're like in this Cyclops Renaissance, and I think that they're trying to build Cyclops's reputation back up because I think that when they make their MCU X-Men, I feel like Cyclops is going to be a big part of it, and the they don't want the poor version of Scott, the poor popularity version, or basically Scott up until the first season of X-Men '97. They don't want that version of Scott to. They don't want that outlook. They don't want people to look at Scott like that guy anymore, or as that guy. They want him to be the. They want people to actually like him and think he's cool and on par with Wolverine, that kind of thing. So I think they're doing a lot of PR for him now. Yeah, I came to this shot because I saw it earlier in like a thumbnail. I call that her Vanessa Kirby's Sue face. Like I think every Sue actress, I don't know about Kate Morrow, but I think every Sue, no, was her name Kate Morrow, Kate Hudson, I think. But anyway, every Sue actress has a Sue face to me when they're doing their force field and they have this expression, and she has hers down pat. Jessica Alba had a really good one too, and I always like pointing out like the Sue face is like this is the face when they're doing something and they're struggling, they're really concentrating on their powers. Um, and if they're really good at it, they can do the Sue face and still look attractive while doing it. So it's just, I would say that she has checked that box. um, and of course, yeah. So they're I don't know what they're getting ready to do here. Clearly going into battle. I don't know who Cap is fighting right here. It'll be interesting to see. Maybe Scott. I don't know. And this, by the way, this shot of Cyclops is from that 2-second teaser, whatever, from back in December, and you do see like the Sentinel legs back there because they did say Sentinels were in this movie. Mystique turned into Yelena right here. One thing I noticed about this sequence is that I don't know if Yelena, again, I don't know anything about makeup, but I'm noticing, if you can see my mouse right here around her eyes, there's like this bluish right here. And when you look at regular Yelena right there, if you can see it, I can't get to it. Anyway, I don't think regular Yelena has it on her eyes, or maybe that's a way to indicate that there's Mystique. I don't know. That's pointless, and that really didn't matter when it comes to the plot. And I just had to bring it up because I noticed it. Yeah, right here, TVA Loki.
Sacrifice.
Loki. Last we saw him was sitting there holding the branches together. If you watch Loki season 1 and 2, he was holding the sacred timeline together essentially with all the branches of the different universes. So I'm not sure where he is right here, because it looks like he's gotten out of there. I don't know how. We'll see, of course, but that's just something interesting to note, which also kind of goes along with that theory of Loki maybe going to find Steve Rogers, which would be a nice full circle moment if that was the case. Because if it is, if that is definitely our Steve, which again I think it is, then it'll be a cool full circle moment for it's essentially because of that Steve's plan to go back into the past, that this Loki managed to escape 2012 Avengers, and for that Loki show to happen. So for this Loki to come back around to that very Cap or Steve Rogers to come help him out, I think that'd be a cool full circle moment from Endgame. What else? Again, another cool shot of Cyclops. And yeah, so, and again, I mentioned with like Thor being on the ship, that was my point of saying that when I said I would come back to it, I was talking about like the Steve thing, in that theory. So, again, another thing that people are, another thing that a rumor is that Doom doesn't appear as, or he's not gonna appear as like the bad guy to the Avengers. He's gonna show up as an ally, like as a perceived ally. And we'll find out later on he's a villain. Now, of course, we know that we see in this trailer, so it's no surprise that Doom is the bad guy. Where is it? 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 I'm looking for it. The Dragon Ball Z scene. Hold on. Yeah. So, you see, yeah, you see Thor's fighting him, and this is even the thumbnail that of the Marvel official trailer video. But he blocks Stormbreaker with 2 fingers, and that's important because Stormbreaker cut through Infinity Stone power. So yeah, Doom is powerful. Now, Doom, of course, if you don't know from the comics, he works in technology and magic, so or science and magic. So, he's whereas the scientists are like, there's no such thing as magic, and then you got the sorcerers, and it's like they really don't talk about science, but it's like they don't mess with it too much. Well, and Thor said they were one and the same in the first Thor movie, but um, Doom is like, no, I dabble in all of it. I dabble in all of it. If it's gonna make me powerful, I'm doing it. So obviously, as you see here with him blocking Thor, so and we'll see. It's interesting to see Thor. It's interesting to see Thor call emphasize that he's scared of the villain that they're going against. Because he didn't really say that, so we'll see who he's referring to, and I'm just gonna leave that at that because if you know anything about the Secret Wars from 2015, that comic, then there's a reason, and we'll talk about that maybe at a later point. But yeah, it's not too much I can much else I'll say about the trailer. Too much. It's a 2 minute trailer. Um, and there's not a lot to grab from it. Like I said, right here is I think where Thor is facing off against Doom. I wonder. I've seen a lot of people questioning where this is at, where this is taking place at. I wonder if it's well, no, that place yet. Did the that I can't think of the name of it, the prune area from the TVA and that was in Deadpool and Wolverine. Did it get destroyed? I can't remember. I don't think it did. It did. Well, I don't remember. Anyway, I'm just trying to help. I'm trying to speculate. I don't know. But Doom is that dude, right? Like Doom is like everybody's villain. I used to when I was younger, I used to be like, why is Doctor Doom everybody's problem? He's a Fantastic Four's villain. Why is everybody having to deal with him? I used to say that all the time. And again, yes, he is a Fantastic Four villain. Don't make no mistake, but he often is like a everybody else's villain because it's like his antics or his schemes or whatever kind of spill over into other stories. Like, he was in like the first. He pops up in like the first 15 issues of the Amazing Spider-Man as a threat. I think I covered that in that one video I did, but yeah, he pops up as a villain in that. He's been in again a thorn in the Avenger side. Like Doom is just he's just that guy just like who am I gonna mess with today? Let's see, Black Panther. Yeah, so that's just kind of how he is. But yeah, no, the trailer looks good. Really excited for the movie. There's some naysayers. Is always the case, especially considering the group who are the group who are talking about these movies, especially the group who had something to say about that guy on the left right there. But we don't care about them. But I might do a video talking about some of the, I guess, some of the complaints about the trailer or early criticisms, if you will. They're not really real criticisms. They're just people being asses as always. But I like to debunk or, kind of insult those people. So we'll see. But yeah, that's my reaction or play by play of this trailer. Like I said, I've seen it already. I'm not gonna tell y'all it's my first time watching it. I watched it a couple times. But yeah, that's my opinion of it. So and by the way, Thor looks like he's gonna be a big portion, a focal point of this movie. So we'll see what happens with him. But yeah, that's my piece. That's my take on it. So let me know what you thought. Are you drop a comment? Are you excited for the movie? What are you excited to see the most? Because we hadn't seen everything. Trust and believe we hadn't seen everything. There are other rumors about this movie that I didn't even talk about, and I might talk about that in a different video. But yeah, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and remember, we have the high ground. Catch you later.